Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about demons and Shinobis. So yeah, let us begin, ladies and gents. So we currently see our boy as he's finally going back to, going back to the dojo, specifically. As when he sat down, he would be in front of Sir Hanzo himself, as he would say this. So, my boy, you defeated some of those angels, as you call them? As Izuku would just say, yes, and what do you want to talk about? As he would say this. Oh, don't worry, it's not gonna take too long. I just wanted to ask if you're willing to help us with some other things while you're also here. As Izuku would obviously just sigh as you'd say, fine. But please hurry this up. I'm planning to just get some rest. As you'd say, certainly my boy. Well, we recently wanted to ask you if you can help us defeat some of these here. As you would show off some pictures. Pictures of a man taking care of something in cages. As when Izuku saw them, he would say, wait, those are... As you would say, yes. We recently found these photos of the used to be leader of the evil ninja faction. His name is Daidoji. Not only that, he's currently been getting these creatures, which we don't know about. As you'd say, wait, those are Pele and... Oh my god. He also saw several other creatures basically trapped in these cages, like for example, Mitra, Layla's, and Kopatengos, for example. As he would say, oh my god. What is he trying to do? Exactly, he would say. As he would obviously say specifically, Hanzo, I honestly don't know. But it's definitely not good. As you'd say, no shit! He would say while slamming his hands onto the, onto the board. Or at least on the, futon, as you'd say. You know how dangerous demons can be? I mean, untamed ones for sure, but certainly these ones are definitely dangerous. As he would say, what do you... As you'd say, look! As he would look towards some of the pictures. As these demons that are being shown either looked abused or neglected. As you'd say, if he tries to do anything with them, they're certainly gonna kill him. Even rampage across the entirety of this city. God damn it. As he would basically lay back down, as you'd say, anyway, guess I'll try and help. But only for the protection of humanity. And protecting those demons. I don't want them to get hurt in either way possible. And I certainly don't want to see any human or anybody getting hurt by them either. That guy must be stopped, he would say. As he would basically say it while his, his one good arm would basically clench. As Honda would see this. When I first saw you, kid, I thought it was weird that you're... well, like that. But now I definitely see why your father still wants to save you. Still wants to bring you into the family business of being a shinobi. Your heart. As he would say this. Yeah, but there's only one problem. I'm not interested in being a shinobi. Not like at all. Especially since that he's the one that freaking abandoned me, he would say. As currently in the background, our boy is basically like, yeah, you don't have to tell me about it, he would say. As we currently see a now depressed, or at least a now kneeling down, Kirya, as he's basically, putting his arms around his legs in a fetal position, specifically. As Honda would see this. Kid. I know that you're angry about your father, but it was good for him to do that. It was important for him to do that. If he didn't, then, as you'd say, then what? My mother would have not been saved. And not only that, I could have. Whatever. Have better things to do. As you would basically, basically, sit back up, as you would say, I'm gonna go take a nap now. As after saying that, he would leave. As while he was leaving, he would see Kiria and you know, you know, more like leaning on the door, basically hearing the whole conversation. As he would say, "What is it, old man?" He would say. As Kiria would say this, "Oh, hello there, son. Um, as you say, don't even bother telling me anything. I have nothing better to do." As after saying that, he would basically leave and go into his, his temporary room, aka Kagura's. As after doing so, he would say this. I'm such a terrible father, he would say. As Hanzo would say this. Don't beat yourself too much, Kiria. Besides, after all, you were trying to save everybody. But your son doesn't really get it all that much. As after saying that, we would go back to Izuku's perspective. As we go back to Izuku, as he's currently on the futon, as you would say, he'd finally get some sleep. As after saying that, he would get onto the bed and basically grab onto his pillow and blanket as he would fall asleep. Currently, we would go to another perspective. We currently see Team Hanzo as they're currently training. While they were training, Asuka would be trying to use her spirit animal or whatever it's called, or actually was it a let me just check what it's called. Essentially she's able to like summon this frog creature and she's able to use like a secret ninja technique or whatever that allows her to basically slice through anything, or at least imbue her swords in some sort of like weird shinobi energy in this universe. I'm not even gonna touch that because every time when I try to search up, some, at least like some lore about it, it's either the lore of the actual game, not the actual story of the game, than anything else. For God's sakes, I really want to see a video or at least something like that to give me a clear understanding of Senran Kagura. Just at least once, for God's sake. Anyway, continuing on, as while she's like training and, at least trained to at least, summon this creature, or at least her, spirit animal thing, or familiar, she would realize that her family beast, or at least, the one that her family uses, is that of a frog, which caused her to basically have an aneurysm. Because in this universe, or at least, in Senran Kagura, Asuka's fear is that of frogs. Ironic. So, while they were training and trying to, help Asuka summon her beast, or at least her, whatever it's called, familiar, Kagura is currently training on her swordsmanship. While she was doing that, she would think to herself, I wonder what Izuku's doing currently, she would say to herself. As while she was doing so, she would get distracted as she would bump into a rock, as the rock was about to fall on her, or at least was about to fall on her, or at least a stack of rocks. As while this was happening, Asuka would see this and would jump into action and basically save, Kagura, as both of them would say, thanks, said Kagura, as Asuka would say, no problem. After all, you are my teammate, she would say. As while this was happening, we currently also see, our boy Kiria, as he's instructing the three other girls to basically train a little bit more. Katsuragi was obviously using her, legs to basically, kick multiple times on the rocks, crushing them. Yagyu using her, her umbrella as a weapon. I remember in the anime she used her, she would use her umbrella to summon in some sort of tentacle-like beast, or, an octopus essentially, to basically fight for her battles. As for, Hibari, she would summon in her her bunny friend, which, by the way, adorable. So, as after a while basically training, we would go back to Izuku as he would wake up. As Izuku would wake up, he would start training himself as well. Mostly using his, his Alice knife or Alice sword. Which he would do it privately, obviously, preferring to be left alone. Considering that most of the girls here are basically trained by his, by his deadbeat father, well, you can probably guess why. So, as while he was training, he would not notice that somebody is currently watching him. Being that of a certain girl from, from the team. As we currently see Yagyu, as she's currently watching Izuku fight, I should say, he's quite talented in fighting. Though, I can sense an anger in him, she would say to herself. As while Izuku's training, he would say, "Damn it! Damn it!" he would say. As while he was saying that to himself, he would say, "You need to get stronger. Anything." As he would basically lay on the ground, as he would say, "Just a little bit more," he would say. "This arm." As he would look towards his, mechanical arm, or at least his prosthetic arm, as he would say, "Though it's maybe powerful, it still doesn't feel right," he would say. "Whatever." As after saying that, he would look towards one of his demons, as he would say, "Please, come forth. Come to me, Asura Lord!" As after saying that, the Asura Lord would appear, as he would say this. "So, you've summoned me. What is your request, Master?" he would say, as he would say this. "I'm merely here for a spar. So, are you ready?" he would say, as he would say this. "Though I wish for a slaughter, but it seems that you have decided for a spar then. Very well, but try not to die," he would say, as he would get ready in his, fighting stance. As 3 of his arms would be in front of him, while the other 2 are basically in the back. As he would say this, "Let the slaughter begin!" As he would rush towards Izuku. As Izuku would rush in himself. Instead of using his Alice knife, he would start using, only his 2 bare hands. Or at least 1 bare hand, because prosthetic arm. As the fight would basically begin, as Izuku would throw a punch towards, one of the Ashura's faces, as he would say, "Strong, but not strong enough," he would say, as he would throw a punch towards him, as he would say, "Now, face my move," as he would say, "Slaughter all." Sorry about that, wait for a second. Sorry about that, my voice kinda cracked over there. Anyway, continue on. As after doing so, 2 large hands would appear, made of blue light, or almighty energy, as Izuku would dodge out of the way before it can actually crush him. As the 2 hands basically crush the land between them, turning it into basically like a mound of, of grass and dirt. Or at least that's the left of it. As after doing so, he would say, "Nice dodge, Master." As you'd say, "Not bad yourself. Now, it's my turn." As Izuku would put one of his arms above his mechanical or, prosthetic arm, as he would scream out, "Berserk!" As after doing so, a large black sword would appear. And I know that it's a unique skill from, one of the collab demons, specifically Guts, as in Guts from Berserk, but you can't tell me otherwise. That's a cool skill. And I used to have him when I first got in the game. My first, time playing the game, it was not on my tablet or, my new phone, but instead it was from my old phone. Yeah, anyway, continue on. After that, the clash would be blinding Yagyu, Ashura, Lord, and Izuku. And so, this is where we're gonna be ending off. That is where we're gonna be ending off this episode. Sorry, guys. Anyway, bye-bye.